Good morning, beautiful people. It's Melanie coming to you from the Outer Banks, North Carolina. I have the hiccups because I'm drinking my juice. Yeah. This is apple, orange, carrot. I kicked my kids out and I was like, go out on the porch. Give me 5 minutes. Chris moved the table and everything out on the porch, so it's all discombobulated. But this is apple, tangelo, lemon, carrot, something else in there. I don't even remember now. Ginger, turmeric. And I drink 5 of these a day. And it's doing pretty good. I feel energized. I feel very energized. And it's day 3 and I haven't died yet, so that's really good. You would think you'd be dead after not being able to eat. I'm still pooping, which is shocking because you'd think that not taking in anything, there wouldn't be anything to come out. But this is day 3 of drinking solid liquid diet, juice and water, and there's still stuff coming out. So that's a big shock. But I guess that's a tribute to all the things that we like to hold on to in our gut system. So last night, with all this extra energy, it was 11 o'clock, I was like, I'm going to do some journaling. Benefits of juice fasting, or solid food vacation, as my homeboy John Rose likes to say. You're breaking, when you do a juice fast or water fast, you're breaking food addiction that we have had since we were programmed as infants. And most of the infants I'm talking about were formula-fed infants because the number 1 ingredient of formula is either corn syrup solids, high fructose corn syrup, or sugar. Straight up, sugar and water, first ingredients. So you are addicted from birth, essentially, to eating on a schedule. We as humans originally came and have evolved from people that would go around foraging, eat when they could. Even the people that were early farmers and settlers, they didn't always have food. So it wasn't like you eat breakfast, you eat a snack, you eat lunch, you eat a snack, you eat dinner, you eat a snack, and you go to bed. They weren't eating 6 times a day. So the whole eating 6 times a day thing is what I believe to be programming from the establishment to keep us addicted to food and not living the life that we need to be living. Because if you're addicted to food, you are always digesting and you are always tired. So doing a juice fast, you are breaking the world's biggest addiction. And it brings huge empowerment to do that, to be able to go into a restaurant and sit there and watch somebody else eat and see all the deliciousness that they're eating and not engage is very, very hard. To be surrounded by people, like I had to cook oatmeal yesterday, I had to cook tofu last night, and I cooked guacamole and chips, and like I'm doing all of these things. I'm not allowed to eat it. I don't even taste it. I just whip it all together, and the girls were like, "Ma, this is the best smoothie," or "This is the best oatmeal." I was like, I wouldn't know. I haven't tried it. So yeah, it brings huge empowerment to be able to go and see all this food and not partake in it. The benefits that I have noticed over the last 3 days are increased energy, cleaning out old stagnant energy. I had a tendency to be very irritable a lot, and I'm noticing that irritability slowly dissipating. My mohawk hair is sticking out. My irritability is dissipating. I'm less reactive. I am less angry. I feel lighter and happier and more joyful. Feels like there's enough time in the day. I'm able to like accomplish a lot of things. Like I woke up today, took my shower, cleaned the shower, like scrubbed it with a sponge and all the things. And sometimes I just spray bleach spray on it and call it a day. But today I actually like scrubbed the shower. I mopped the floors yesterday and swept. And so I'm having much more energy than this like monotonous drug. Like I feel almost drugged out. Or on other days when I'm eating. This hair, holy cow. Guys, you don't even know. So this is my mohawk hair, and it is unruly and doing whatever it wants to today. Sorry. So yeah, there's much more time in the day to be doing things, getting the things done that we need to be doing. I am also juicing. The other night I juiced for 4.5 hours, and it got me to where Chris made juice last night, which took him about 45 minutes. He made Bloody Mary juice, raw Bloody Mary juice, without the vodka. Oh my God, it was amazing. It makes the whole juicing experience so much better. So it was like tomatoes, celery. I said we should probably throw some cucumbers in there next time, and he doesn't want to mess with it. It was so good. Lemon, lime, horseradish, garlic, salt, pepper, coriander. You went all out. But the time required to juice is a lot. I'm also juicing for a business, so that definitely adds on to the time needed. However, it got me till this morning that I didn't have to juice again, which is great. So about 2 hours of juicing every day, probably. I have more ambition. Happy, uplifting attitude we talked about. I swear they're fighting again, but it's all right. Weight loss. I am noticing a slim down in the body systems here, which is really cool. So like this is slimming down, my little chub roll. Toxin loss. And then my last thing that I put on was I'm expectorating. That's a word from the health industry. Expectorating. So I'm coughing up a lot of globs of mucus. And I had like a really bad head cold, bronchitis, COVID-y stuff a couple weeks ago. And I know that that's still residing in my lungs because I do still smoke the reefer. And I am coughing up huge globs of mucus. So that's really cool to know that that's like coming out and I'm getting it out. Difficulties, cravings. The universe be tempting so hard right now was what I wrote. I took my daughter Lily to the grocery store yesterday, and we picked up a couple of groceries that I needed to be able to do the things that I needed to do for them and for my horses and all that stuff. And one of the things that I absolutely love is my dates and chocolate. And I got it for the kids. And she sat there in the car and she's like eating and staring at me as she's doing it. It's like, that's my favorite thing. But I stayed strong. I didn't cave. Many bathroom trips. So you go to the bathroom a lot. You pee way more than you ever thought you would need to pee. Triple the amount of pee trips is what I wrote in. That's my guesstimation. Achy, tight muscles. So like when you're going through this process, you're breaking down the fat stores that you have. And when you're breaking down the fat stores, you're also breaking down the toxins. So when we consume toxins, whether it's in our water source, whether it's in our food sources, whether it's in the air, our body, a way to protect the vital organs is to move those toxins into the fat cells. So when your body starts breaking down those fat cells, you have an overload of toxins into your tissues, muscles, all the things, bloodstream. It causes some achiness, pain, joint pain, all that stuff. The best thing for it is movement. So stretching, yoga. I went skateboarding yesterday morning. Getting your heart pumping, getting that lymphatic system moving again. Up and down exercises like bringing your hands all the way up, bending over, doing sun salutations in yoga are all really beneficial to get the stuff moving out of your body and helping to get it to your kidneys, getting it to your liver, and then getting it out of your body. And having hunger. My husband was really hungry the first day and he only had 3 pints. He thought I had made big quart jars. And he thought that he only was drinking 6 pints a day. And I was like, no, you're drinking quart jars a day. So it's like 1.5 gallons, if not 2 gallons for somebody that's really active. So if you have hunger in between your juicing, you need to drink water. Juicing is technically your meal. So you still need to be drinking and hydrating with the water to make sure that you're filtering out and getting everything moving. And then I said supplement with herbal teas. So you can definitely hit up the ginger turmeric tea. You can hit up any type of herbal tea. You want to try and stay away from caffeine. But yeah. So I wanted to talk about my friend Vince Throncleaver in the comments mentioned that I was cheating because he calls me RB, and that's for rule breaker because that's what I do. And I had mentioned that I had cheated one day by eating some bites of apple and melon while I was juicing. What happened was I took the girls to Pea Island, which was like a 45-minute drive, and I had 1 cup of grapefruit juice before I left, which was a pint of grapefruit juice. It wasn't even a full cup or full quart. And that was all I had the whole day. And by the time I got home, I was so hungry. And so I had to juice for 4.5 hours. And while I was juicing, I was eating a couple bites of apples and melon. But that was my cheat. So I was still raw. Last night I drank 8 ounces of chocolate peanut butter smoothie, which is almost completely raw. It's bananas, raw cacao powder, hemp seeds. The peanut butter is not raw, avocado, and microgreens. So I drank about 8 ounces of that, and I had heartburn. And I'm only like day 2. So that was mind-blowing to me. I was like, I'm going to stay away from this now and just do the raw fruit and see where it takes me. But yeah, it's been a really great journey. I was very scared to do it for a very long time, like a year. And I'm really glad that we finally did. And I'm glad that Chris had these things come up in his life that really pushed and instigated me to make this change for myself and for him. And it's really nice to be able to do it with somebody so that you're not alone in the process and you have somebody to like bounce things back off and forth with. Dude, the whole thing with the with the flippin' tomato juice was the icing on the cake, and he is so excited to have, he's got 2 giant quart jars of it today to drink, so he's like, I can drink Bloody Mary mix all day long. He was a bartender, so he prides himself in the best Bloody Mary mix on the beach. So yeah, that's my journey, and that's where we're at, and I wanted to share it with you guys to know that we're not dead, we don't feel terrible, and life is moving on just fine, and all of the good things that are coming from it and the benefits of it. Do I recommend a solid food vacation for anybody? No. So if you are somebody that eats a lot of crap, if you go to fast food restaurants, if you go to gas stations for your food, if you are eating packaged foods from the grocery store all the time, I don't recommend you do this because you'll have a serious, horrible detox health crisis reaction. I may still have a health crisis reaction. I did the flu bomb last year for 2 weeks and ended up with shingles. That's a health crisis. So any type of detox that we're doing, there are health crisis situations that may arise. Chris might go into that. He eats a lot of bread because he works at a bagel shop. He eats a lot of vegan processed junk food. He drinks a lot of those carbonated, bubbly water beverages, which are by the Coca-Cola Corporation, and so you know they're not good for your health. He's going to have a different reaction. So what do you do if you're somebody that is in all of those toxic foods all the time? Well, you start to break that addiction slowly, and you start to replace, if you're going to go have the morning breakfast at 7-Eleven, then maybe don't have that morning breakfast at 7-Eleven and maybe have apples and peanut butter that day. And then for lunch, you go eat all your processed junk, and then do that for a week, and then replace another meal for a week and replace a snack for a week and start adding it up that way. That way your detox is much less. It's much easier to maintain. It's much easier to get over those cravings because you're like, oh, I can just wait till lunch and then it's okay. I've pretty much been raw until 4 for years, and I really don't eat during the day, so it wasn't as hard for me. But for people that definitely eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's definitely a more difficult journey. Do I eventually recommend juice fasting for everybody? Yes. Do I recommend any type of fasting for anybody? Yes. Do I recommend doing it in the appropriate time? Yes. So these are all things that you have to consider when you're going down these roads of health and healing outside of the medical industry. People have healed all sorts of diseases with juice fasting and water fasting, and it is possible to heal yourself. And I'm seeing the results now, even mentally, just mentally, I'm seeing the results. Because it's hard taking care of 3 kids, homeschooling all day long, plus doing all of the Whole Foods plant-based stuff that I do on top of that, plus all of like the taking them places and doing all of the things and blah, blah, blah. It's stressful and it makes my mind crazy, but I feel so much better mentally doing this than I ever did eating all the food I was eating before. So with all of that said, I hope you enjoyed my update. I'll be checking in every couple of days with you guys just to let you know how it's going. And yeah, want to wish you guys all so much peace, so much love, so much namaste. And we will chat again very soon. Hasta luego, friends.